My mom went to Lijiang for a holiday. She didn't hike, she didn't go up the mountain. She just stayed in the city doing what tourists do. And she still ended up in the ICU in critical condition on the other side of a procedure where doctors went through her wrist to examine her heart vessels. I'm not sharing this to scare you. Lijiang is beautiful and I would still recommend it, but there are things I wish I had known before we went, things that could have changed everything, and things you need to have in place just in case. If you are planning a trip to Lijiang, Yunnan, Tibet, or anywhere with high altitude, please watch this first. My mom had been traveling through Yunnan, Kunming first, then Dali, and then Lijiang. By the time she landed in Lijiang, she was already tired from the journey, and that matters because fatigue makes your body even more vulnerable to altitude. Lijiang city sits at around 2,400 meters above the sea level. That's not Everest base camp. That's just the city where all the streets and eating places are, the old town, the cafes. But the moment she arrived, she felt something amiss. She was feeling bloated and she couldn't walk a lot without feeling exhausted. She kept saying she felt a weird kind of sensation, but couldn't pinpoint exactly what the feeling was. It wasn't pain, wasn't exactly dizziness, but there was breathlessness, just felt off. That vagueness is actually one of the most dangerous things about altitude sickness. It's easy to dismiss and easy to say maybe it's just the jet lag, or maybe it's just the food which is a bit more oily. Maybe she just needs to sleep it off. She didn't sleep it off. By that night, she couldn't walk properly. And we knew something was seriously wrong. She was rushed to the hospital in Lijiang, and this is where I want to talk about something I genuinely did not expect: the speed and quality of the Chinese doctors. From the moment she arrived, the decision making was very fast. Doctors were calm but very fast. They identified what they call the golden period, which is a critical window where acting immediately could mean the difference between recovery and something much worse. So they decided ICU, and they quickly informed me, and I was still in Singapore, that at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, the ICU is needed. The procedure that they performed, going in through the wrist to examine her heart vessels, was done with precision. And throughout everything, the doctors were very kind, patient, even when I was asking a lot of questions because I was anxious. So here's what really moved me. The doctors even gave me their personal WeChat contacts. And when I messaged the two doctors who were in charge of my mother, one of them being the top of the department, when I messaged them, sometimes late, like 9 plus p.m., or early, like 7 a.m., sometimes with very specific requests, they replied within minutes, not hours, minutes. And when I needed reports, results, scans for the medical evacuation process, they pull everything straight from the system and let me take picture using my iPad or iPhone straight from the system and give it to me. No bureaucracy, no come back tomorrow or waiting time. It just gets done. They also coordinated very well and directly with the doctors back in Singapore because we got travel insurance with pre-existing coverage for mom. Cross-border communication, despite the different systems and language, the Chinese doctors make everything work because they want my mom to get home safely. So I left that hospital with a lot of respect for those doctors. Before we left, one of the doctors said something that has stayed with me. She said, never underestimate altitude when you come to places like this. Make sure your heart is in good condition before you travel here. Come prepared. And I think embedded in that advice, though she said it gently, was this: if things go south at this altitude, and they can go south very fast, be prepared for every outcome, including the final ones. She also told me about the two other patients in the ward while my mom was there. A 17-year-old boy from Singapore, also in the ICU from altitude issues. A man from Singapore as well, in his 40s, and he didn't make it, heart failure. So age is not protection here, and fitness is not an absolutely guarantee. The altitude simply does not care you are young or old. So let me give you some practical things, the things I know now that I didn't know before. Number one, expect your oxygen levels to drop. In Lijiang city, it's normal for your oxygen level to sit around 90 to 91%. That's lower than what our body is used to in Singapore. Monitor it. If you feel unwell, immediately go to the hospital A&E. If you start to feel numbness, tingling in your fingers, go to A&E immediately during daytime. Ask for oxygen therapy. Treatment is about 60 minutes or 90 minutes. The 90 minutes could literally save your life, so don't wait, don't push through. Number two, buy oxygen before you need it. Head to a local pharmacy, buy oxygen canisters. It's about 5 quarters for 100 RMB. When you arrive, buy it, not when you feel sick. Use them preemptively if you feel any discomfort. It's cheap and is widely available, so do it. Number three, take the local altitude remedy. There's a local preventive remedy that's available in Lijiang specifically for high altitude illness. Take it when you arrive. Ask your hotel or pharmacy. Not a guarantee, but it does help your body to adjust. Number four, if you feel unwell, go down, not up. Lijiang Mountain goes up to 4,500 meters. If you are already feeling off in the city at 2,400, do not go up. And if things escalate, the right move is to get to Kunming, lower altitude, bigger hospital. An ambulance to Kunming is a real option. However, it takes 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours on the road. So know this option before you need it. If situation is critical, quickly go to the hospital in Lijiang. Number five, don't let fatigue be your blind spot. My mom was already tired from Kunming and Dali before she even landed in Lijiang. Accumulated fatigue lowers your body's resilience to altitude. If you are doing a multi-city Yunnan trip, build in rest. Don't arrive in Lijiang depleted. Now, I'm a financial advisor, and I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say this. The moment I knew my mom was being admitted, I called a travel insurance provider's SOS medical evacuation hotline. And they picked up, immediately set up a WhatsApp chat group. 20 people, medical personnel in the chat group. 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's what the service is supposed to be, and that's what it was. They set up the case right away, and over the following week, as I gathered the medical reports, test results, and doctor notes from the hospital in Lijiang, I fed everything to the evacuation team. Piece by piece, and they coordinated the logistics. They arranged the medical evacuation flight home. So without this travel insurance coverage, the cost of a medical evacuation flight alone would have been tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket, on top of everything else you are already dealing with emotionally. Here's what I want you to hear. Travel insurance is not a nice to have or a formality. It's not something you buy and forget. It is the thing that stands between you and a financial catastrophe on the worst day of your life. And if you are thinking, I'm healthy, I'm careful, and nothing will happen to me, a 17-year-old boy was in that ICU. A man in his 40s didn't leave the hospital. Please check your coverage before your next trip, especially if it involves altitude, especially if your parents are traveling with you, and if you are going somewhere remote. If you want to know what to look for in a travel policy, or whether your current one covers medical evacuation, I'm happy to help. My mom made a remarkable recovery. She's well. And I'm grateful to the doctors in Lijiang who moved fast and cared deeply for my mother, to the evacuation team who were calm and competent when I wasn't, and honestly to the coverage that meant I could focus on my mom instead of the bill. If this video helped you, save it, especially if you are planning a Yunnan or high altitude trip. You might need this information one day, or someone you love might. Follow me if you want more content like this, where real life meets the financial decisions we wish we made earlier. I'll see you in the next one.